Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Wednesday, December 14th, and this is the NBA DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be taking a quick look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the injuries in play for today. It is a 10-game main slate overall, and then going over to both FanDuel and DraftKings and talking about my core picks for today. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. On the DraftKings side, we had Chris Paul at $6,200, looking for 31 points. Got to 39, so he was a hit yesterday. Then in shooting guard, we had Javon Carter at $3,300, looking for 16, 17 points. He got to 19, so he was a hit as well. Then in small forward, we had Chris Middleton. He was $6,000, looking for 30 points. Got to 29.5, so I did give him a push yesterday. He was right in line with what we were looking for, just a half a point under. But that game was a little bit of a blowout as well. If he plays those extra couple minutes, he easily crosses that 30-point threshold. And then at power forward, we have Jabari Smith, who was $5,300, looking for 26, 27 points. Got to 26.5, so he was a hit. Probably would have done even better yesterday if that game didn't end up being a blowout. And then last but not least, at center, we had DeAndre Ayton, $7,200, looking for 36 points. Should have been a very good game for him last night. Unfortunately, only got to 8.25 points. He was a miss. Only played 15 minutes, 2 for 10 shooting from the field, and did get hurt in this game, so kind of unfortunate there. But injuries will tend to happen, and you can't really predict them overall. Then on the FanDuel side, we had Chris Paul, who was $7,200 over there, looking for 36 points. Got to 38.7, so he was a hit. At shooting guard, we had Torrey Craig at $4,800, looking for 24 points. Got to 33.4, so he was a really good hit yesterday. Then at small forward, went with Jaylen Brown at $8,900, looking for 45 points. Got to 55.5, so he was a hit. Then at power forward, we had Jabari Smith once again, $5,800, looking for 29 points. Got to 24.6. He was a miss. He only ended up playing 29 minutes in this game because it was a blowout. Probably gets an extra 3 minutes if this game is not a blowout. Probably gets a little bit closer to what we were looking for out of him yesterday. Just a little bit unfortunate that did not end up working out. And then at center, we had Sengun once again. He was $6,300, looking for 32 points. Got to 32.2, so he was a hit yesterday. So overall, a pretty solid day, 4 out of 5 on both sites. And then we did have the miss on each one. The miss on FanDuel was obviously not quite as bad with Jabari Smith as it was with DeAndre Ayton on the DraftKings side. But if you had some other decent plays, you had a pretty good chance of cashing yesterday overall. But with that being said, we'll get moved over into the injuries and play for tonight's slate. So once again, it is a 10-game main slate overall. We have 3 games tipping off right at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So we're going to start out with the Golden State Warriors. They are playing on the back-to-back. We assume Andre Iguodala and Andrew Wiggins are both out once again. Klay Thompson is most likely out, resting on the back-to-back. I would not be surprised if Draymond Green sits out tonight either, since he is coming off an ankle injury of his own. So there could be some value opening up on this Warriors team overall. We'll have to see whether or not they'll rest Steph Curry tonight as well. They could do it, but at the same time, they did get blown out last night, so those guys didn't play quite as many minutes as they would in a normal back-to-back game. Then on the Pacers side, we have Daniel Tice, Chris Duarte, and Kendall Brown all listed as out. We have Aaron Nesmith listed as questionable. He did get hurt in the last game. We'll see if he's able to go tonight or not. Could make a little bit of difference to their rotation overall since he did start the previous game. Then we move over to the Atlanta Hawks, who are without John Collins and DeJounte Murray once again. Trae Young is listed as questionable with a back injury, but he did miss the last time out, but probably good to go tonight. Then for the Orlando Magic, we got Wendell Carter Jr., Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac, Chuma Okeke, and Jalen Suggs all out once again, so no real changes there. For the Detroit Pistons, it's just Isaiah Livers, who is out once again tonight. Cade Cunningham is done for the season after having surgery. Then for the Hornets, we have LaMelo Ball, Gordon Hayward, Cody Martin, Dennis Smith Jr., Mark Williams, all listed as out, so no real changes there either. Moving down to the New York Knicks, we have Obi Toppin listed as out. Ryan Arcidiacono is doubtful once again, but not really in the rotation either way. And Jalen Brunson is questionable tonight. I believe it's a foot injury he's dealing with. If he's unable to go, Emmanuel Quickley and Derrick Rose are going to look a lot better, going to look like pretty decent plays on both sites. I would assume that Quickley plays probably about 27, 28 minutes, and Derrick Rose would play around 20 to 21. I would not be surprised if Derrick Rose gets the start in that situation. RJ Barrett would also become more interesting, but his price tag did recently go up on both sites as well. Then for the Chicago Bulls, Lonzo Ball is out once again. Ayo Dosunmu is listed as questionable. We'll see if he plays tonight or not. And then we do have Alex Caruso listed as a game time decision, but expected to make his return tonight. For the Sacramento Kings, looks like Alex Len is just listed as questionable. De'Aaron Fox returned last night. They are playing on the back-to-back, so we could see something change throughout the day as well. Then for the Toronto Raptors, we have Precious Achiuwa, OG Anunoby and Otto Porter Jr. all listed out. So OG Anunoby is kind of the big one there. Gary Trent did return to the starting lineup the last time out, so we'll see if that's the case once again. And then we have Juancho Hernan-Gomez listed as a game-time decision, but expected to make his return tonight. For the Portland Trailblazers, Nazir Little and Gary Payton II are both out. We have Josh Hart and Drew Eubanks, both listed as game-time decisions, but both expected to play once again tonight. Then for the Sacramento Spurs, Jakob Poeltl and Wesley are both out once again. Romeo Langford and Zach Collins both listed as doubtful. And then we have Josh Richardson and Keita Bates-Diop both listed as questionable to play. Bates-Diop has been out for a couple games now. And then Richardson played the last time out, but he's dealing with a contusion on his hand, so we'll see if he's able to go tonight or not. Charles Bassey's going to look pretty good here tonight for the Spurs with some of those big men missing. It could be a very interesting spot for the Spurs team overall, though. Then for the Miami Heat, they are without Omer Yurtseven, Gabe Vincent, and Jimmy Butler tonight. So Jimmy Butler being gone is going to open up some value. Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry. Don't have a problem going to any of those three guys tonight. Dwayne Dedmon listed as questionable once again, dealing with that plantar fasciitis, but he's been playing, the past 3 or 4 games. Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, Victor Oladipo, and Tyler Hero. All listed as game time decisions, but all expected to play tonight. Then for the Oklahoma City Thunder, Jerome Robinson-Earl and Kenrich Williams are both out. So Robinson-Earl being out is kind of the big one there. Opens up some minutes at that center position overall, whether it's a Povashevsky, a Darius Baisley, a Mike Muscala, or someone else. Moving down to the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're without Ricky Rubio, Dean Wade, and Dylan Windler, so no real changes here. Dallas Mavericks are without Josh Green, and then Maxi Kleber listed as questionable to play. I believe he was able to play last time out, so I'm not really too worried about him. For the Washington Wizards, Rui Hachimura and DeLon Wright both out once again. Kristaps Porzingis, Monty Morris, Anthony Gill, and Bradley Beal all listed as questionable tonight, so could be some value opening up on this team overall. If some of these guys were to miss, or if they come back, not too much value to be had overall. Then for the Denver Nuggets, Colin Gillespie and Michael Porter Jr. are both out, so no real changes there. And then last but not least, we get down to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are without Karl Anthony Towns, Taurean Prince, and Jordan McLaughlin. D'Angelo Russell is questionable tonight, dealing with some knee soreness. Typically something in the past he sat out for before. So if he's unable to go, we're looking at Jalen Noel. We're looking at Austin Rivers probably running that point guard position overall. And then on the Clippers side, it looks like just Norman Powell out tonight. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on all the injuries in play for tonight's slate. Obviously, the big ones we're looking at are D'Angelo Russell, and then Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis are going to be 2 pretty big ones as well. Jalen Brunson is going to be a very impactful one, especially early on. Trae Young as well. And then if we get any other Warriors news throughout the day, and if there's any other type of news that does open up throughout the day, I'll list it down in the comments below. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings to talk about my core picks over there. So at the point guard position, we're going to go with Fred VanVleet. He is $7,500, looking for 38, 39 points out. He's averaging about 36 so far in the season. Goes against the Sacramento Kings tonight. Should be a little bit of a pace-up spot and a defense that's not the best in the world as well. Currently, I'm projected for 39 points tonight. He's shown flashes of getting back to his old self once again, so definitely don't have a problem going to him tonight. Then at shooting guard, we're going to go with Jalen Noel at $4,600. Looking for 23 points out. He's averaging about 20 so far on the season. When he's gotten minutes so far this year, he's been very, very good. And I expect D'Angelo Russell to miss tonight. If that news does change throughout the day, this is a pick that will change throughout the day as well. But Jalen Noel currently have him projected for 26 points tonight. Definitely could have some upside for more as well. Then at small forward, we're going to go with Bogdan Bogdanovic. He is $5,000. Came back for the Hawks. Been playing pretty good minutes. He sat out the last time on the back-to-back. Expect him to play 30 to 36 minutes tonight, honestly, because he's played 36 earlier this year. I believe that game was in overtime, though, so I'm expecting about 30, 32 minutes tonight, to be honest. Looking for, 25 points out. I have him projected for 28 tonight. He's averaging about 28 since he's returned so far this year. Hasn't really shown too much rest, at least early on. Then at power forward, we have PJ Washington at $5,500. Looking for 27, 28 points out. He's averaging 28 on the season. He has a very favorable matchup tonight against the Detroit Pistons, and I think he can take advantage of it. Currently, I'm projected for about 29, 30 points tonight. Definitely has a little bit upside for more. Obviously has some downside for less, especially if he gets in foul trouble once again. And then last but not least, at that center position, we have Charles Bassey, $4,100. Looking for 20, 21 points out of him. He's averaging 18.5 essentially so far on the season. Could be a pretty interesting matchup for him going against Joseph Nurkic today, but not one that I'm too afraid of. But there's not really any other big bodies for the Spurs team left. I do know they have Gorgie Jang and Isaiah Roby, but Bassey seems to be the guy they're going to run out there more often than not. Currently have him projected for 26 minutes tonight and about 29 to 30 points. If he gets that, he's going to be very popular and definitely pay off at this price tag overall. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you'll have $23,300 remaining, just under $7,800 per player. So definitely a lot of ways that you could build it. There's a lot of decent pay up options tonight if you want to look at one of them and then kind of go from there. Or if you want to build a little more balanced approach, that's definitely fine on tonight's slate as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there as well. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Terry Rozier. He's $7,900. So his price tag's been rising up a little bit as of late. Looking for, 39, 40 points on, averaging just over 36 so far in the season. Been playing big minutes, a very favorable matchup for him. Been playing pretty well once again. Currently, I'm projected for 40 to 41 points tonight. Then at shooting guard, we have Tyler Hero at $7,700. Obviously, his price tag moved up quite a bit, but obviously he's been playing very, very well. There's no Jimmy Butler tonight once again. At $7,700, we're looking for 38, 39 points out of him. It's quite a bit, but he's been playing extremely well as of late. Oklahoma City Thunder matchup should be a very favorable one for him as well. Averaging 35 points so far on the season. Currently, I'm projected for 39-40 tonight. Definitely has some upside for more, though, as we've seen in the past. Then at small forward, we're going with Jonathan Kuminga at $4,400. Maybe in the starting lineup. Probably not in the starting lineup just because that's how Golden State operates. But coming off the bench, we've seen him have some pretty big games. We know for sure probably no Klay Thompson or Andrew Wiggins tonight. Could be no Draymond as well. Could be a lot of minutes and opportunities opening up for Jonathan Kuminga tonight. Only looking for 22 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 24 points tonight, but definitely has some upside for more, especially if we get more news of guys being ruled out today as well. Then at power forward, we're going to go with Scotty Barnes at $7,100. Looking for 35, 36 points out. He's averaging about 32 so far on the season. Very favorable matchup tonight against the Kings. Been playing big minutes once again, kind of getting back in his groove. Currently, I'm projected for 36, 37 points tonight. Should be a pretty solid play overall. And then last but not least, we have Charles Bassey at the center position once again, $5,100. Looking for 25, 26 points out. He's averaging just over 19 so far in the season. But this is probably his first chance to start this year. Obviously, no Zach Collins or Jakob Poeltl. Do expect him to play about 26 to 28 minutes tonight. Currently, I'm projected for 29 to 30 points as well on the FanDuel side. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players, you'll have $27,800 remaining, just under $7,000 per player. So a little bit of room of flexibility if you do want to pay up for somebody. That's definitely a viable option. If you don't want to play Charles Bassey, if you want to pay up for like a Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jokic, or somebody else, you can definitely do that. There's lots of options on both sides at the center position, but Charles Bassey is just the one that projects at the highest in terms of points per dollar for me today. Or if you want to take a little bit more balanced approach, that's definitely fine on tonight's slate. There's going to be a lot of options out there, especially with it being a 10-game slate overall. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for today, December 14th. As always, if you have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to note whether those questions are more DraftKings or FanDuel specific so I can best help you as quickly as possible. And then also be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's on FanDuel or DraftKings, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, whether it's a completely different player. Definitely interested in hearing what you guys have to say. And then as always, I'll be listing injury updates as they do come out throughout the day, as well as many starting lineups as I can get to tonight as well. And then also I'll have my updated core out probably about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock. Or if there are any updates that do happen after lock, I'll update that as well. So definitely be sure to check up on that as we get closer to lock. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at CoachCraigSports, helping you with your DFS. Right now, we currently have NBA and NFL DFS. Like I've been saying, the NFL side's been a little bit slacking, but be sure to check out my content on Twitter, on Patreon, over at WeBetATS.com, and hopefully a video coming out, hopefully on Friday for the NFL DFS Core Picks for week number 15. Otherwise, if you want to try out the Patreon for a week for free, feel free to reach out to me, whether it's on YouTube or Twitter, and I'll get you in there so you can at least check out my NFL DFS sheet for the week, as well as my NBA DFS for the daily. I put in the guys that are projecting over 5 times value at the beginning of the day for me, so it just kind of helps give you guys a little bit of baseline to start off your process of building lineups as well. And then with that being said, if you are a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I upload a new video. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.